Hey everyone. I'm so glad that God has gathered us together again for worship. And we know that wherever we are in the world, that God is with us. And for that, we are grateful. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I told you a story from the book of Genesis about a man named Jacob, and how Jacob was on his way to his uncle's house when he discovered that God was everywhere. Today, I want to tell you another story about Jacob. Now, this story takes place years later. He is leaving now his uncle's house and he's going home. But this time, he's got a big family and lots of possessions with him. And he is making his way home. And one night, he decides to send his family and all of his things on ahead of him, and he stays where he is to take a break. Only he doesn't get a break. Instead, a man shows up and wrestles with Jacob all night. This man wrestles with Jacob for hours. And as the sun started to come up, the man yells at Jacob, "Let me go." But Jacob says, "I will not let you go until you bless me." And so the man asks Jacob, "What is your name?" And he answers, "My name is Jacob." And the man tells him, "Your name is no longer Jacob. Your new name is Israel, for you have wrestled with God and won." And then Jacob asks the man for his name, but the man does not give it. Instead, the man blesses Jacob and then leaves. You might be asking yourself, why am I telling you this story? What in the world is going on? Who is this man? We are to understand that this man is God, and that Jacob wrestles with God. Now that seems like a crazy story, but I want to tell you that one of the things that we learn from this story is that God doesn't always look like we expect God to look. And when we interact with God, it doesn't always go according to plan. I'm sure Jacob didn't think that when he met God, that God would just be some man who tries to tackle him and wrestle him for hours. And yet that is what happens in this story. And so for us, God may not show up like a man who wants to wrestle you for hours, or another person who wants to wrestle you for hours. I don't know that God is going out just trying to wrestle with everybody. But God is interacting with us in a variety of ways. And God is present with us in a lot of different ways. And so we need to look around and to try and find where God is present among us. And so for the rest of this day, and as you go throughout your week, I want you to look around to see if God is showing up in unexpected ways. And I want you to think about if any other interactions with other people that you have had, whether or not God might have been present in those. And so for all of us, let us remember that God is present everywhere, but also to look around and that God may not look like we expect. So I wonder, what does God look like to you? And what do you expect when you meet God? Let us go to God in prayer. Dear God, Thank you for this day, for loving us in every way. Help us to love and not to fuss, because we know that you love us. Amen.